An illustrator, in my own mind, and this is not a truth of any kind, is someone who so falls in love with writing that he wishes he had written it, and the closest he can get to is illustrating it. And the next thing you learn, you have to find something unique in this book, which perhaps even the author was not entirely aware of. And that's what you hold on to, and that's what you add to the pictures. A whole other story that you believe in, that you think is there. That's the best of illustrating, and that's what illustrating, for me, is all about. It's not about echoing a text. You read a text, and then you see a picture. Hello, what's that all about? Most people, I don't like to read illustrated books. Adult books, I mean. I would hate to read Jane Austen illustrated. Anyone would show me what so-and-so looks like. The hell with them. I know what she looks like. I don't mean anybody. And so I would never illustrate Austen, and mostly all the great novels I would not illustrate. Which probably make a lot of people happy to know that I'll keep my hands off some of their favorite stories. Children's books are the best way to get this out of your system because of the simplicity of their surface. And you can bury anything you like. And you can count on an audience that is so intuitive by nature, so sharp, that they will seek out that they don't even know they're seeking it out. They take it in like air. When you hide another story in a story, that's the story I am telling the children.
So what I really liked about that interview clip was the way he almost capitalized the other story, and that actually became one of the central themes of this exhibition, as well as a retrospective that we did of Sendak's work in 2008. And the idea that there's always a story within the story is something that a lot of illustrators have found. Chris Van Allsburg, Brian Selznick, a lot of names that are very familiar to you, Jerry Pinkney, they've all talked about the idea that an illustrator's job is to make a complex relationship between a story and the pictures, so that there might be multiple narratives going on. And I think it's what really makes their work rewarding to study and to get into as an adult too. You discover these things on one level when you're a kid, and they're fun stories and they're great pictures, and then you can come back to them and discover all kinds of nuances because they've really done a lot of hard work to put them in there. So this is just one kind of example. And I want to talk about three other stories sort of lurking behind, almost haunting Sendak's whole entire career, actually. Those three stories have to do with his family, which I touched on last time. They also have to do with the vulnerability of children, which is a theme he's often tried to work into his books. And the last theme that he's really tried to grapple with deals with the Holocaust. That's a huge other story to both his upbringing and to his work. So those are the three that I'm just going to touch on tonight. Did you have a question?
Yeah. It seems as though his illustrations are different than most illustrators. I mean, if you look at illustrations in most, even children's books, it tends to correspond with the written word.
Right.
Just so you can kind of just so it flows and you get an idea. Is he unique in that way, that he kind of tells his own story, if you will, through his illustrations?
I couldn't have said it better. That's a perfect thing to bring up, actually, because a lot of people have told me, I don't care what, he's illustrated nearly 100 books. I don't care what book it is, I can tell when it's a Sendak. But the other thing Sendak has tried to do is to change his style almost every time he does a picture book, and we'll look at, the difference between Where the Wild Things Are and a book like Outside Over There from 1981, which has this way strange Victorian kind of feel to it. But I think you're right. I think there's an underlying Sendak to a lot of it. And I think that's where the sort of other story lives. There's something Sendakian about all of them, I guess. because that's his creative motivation, and that's what he wants to give to every book he does, no matter what the style that he's illustrating it in. So actually, we might want to come back to that.